I'm about to have my best Valentine's Day yet, and I am single. Here's how. Valentine's Day is one of those holidays we put so much pressure on, even if you're in a relationship. Today I'm going to tell you why so many people have bad Valentine's Days year after year, regardless of their relationship status. And if you stick around long enough, I'll tell you how to have the best year yet, like me, no hot date or fancy dinner required. With Valentine's Day, it feels like that tale as old as time, feeling like you are not good enough to have the day that you want to have with the person you want to have it with. And whether you realize it or not, there's so many negative thoughts in your head telling you why that is. Maybe they're saying that you're not pretty enough or sexy enough or attractive enough to be with the person that you want to be with. Maybe you've never had a partner in the past show you the love and care that you want to see on a day like Valentine's Day, so you think it's not possible for you. But either way, you're settling, having a day that you're not satisfied with, and it doesn't make your body image or your confidence in yourself any better. In fact, it often makes it worse. Valentine's Day feels like this day of proving if those negative thoughts are true or not, and we're evaluating our worth based on how the day goes, whether who we spend it with or how we spend it with them. When I was in college, I had the classic, unfulfilling situationship Valentine's Day that is so embarrassing to talk about now, but has taught me so many lessons about what I deserve and how to spend Valentine's Day so that you can have a kick-ass day even if you're single. When I was in college, I had a situationship, and the entire situationship was me being way more into him than he was into me. Everything in our relationship, which was months long, I think almost a year of my life, felt forced. It felt like I was always trying to pull him closer to me and have him be what I wanted him to be so I could feel like I mattered to him. And even though I knew that it wasn't right, I could feel that feeling inside of me the whole time. I couldn't stop myself from being in that situationship because I needed the validation from another person that I was good enough in his eyes, that I was lovable, that he wanted to be around me and be with me. Our Valentine's Day, the one that we spent together, is so embarrassing now that I look back on it. I had to organize the entire day, practically beg him to be there with me, and give me the absolute bare minimum. I fully expected him to bail the whole time, which shows how little priority he put into me in this relationship, even though he told me that he wanted to be with me. He just didn't want to label all of the classic stuff that I tolerated because my self-worth was so low. The entire time that we were together on Valentine's Day, I felt like I was in a rush because I knew that as soon as the date we had planned, that I had planned, ended, he would move on to the next activity in his day, whereas this was the highlight of my whole week. I had so many expectations for how he would act, how he would show me affection, if he would show me affection, and I was evaluating myself and my worthiness based on if he gave that to me. I felt silly dressing up in my red dress. I still remember exactly what it looked like from Ross Dress for Less, that I bought specifically for this extremely low maintenance dinner date that we were having. I felt silly asking him to kiss me on the cheek. I felt like a dumb kid asking him to take a photo with me on freaking Valentine's Day. Much less, I didn't even expect flowers or chocolate or any of the other things that we say on Valentine's Day are important. But I was just looking for any hint that I was good enough to him in his eyes. As simple as him putting an arm around me. I was settling for this situationship before that word even existed on the internet. Knowing that I wasn't happy, but feeling like this was the best I could get, because I'd never had better, so I couldn't even imagine better. I couldn't even imagine spending the day alone and be happy. I would rather have a shitty date than be alone and enjoy that time with myself, because at the time, being alone felt like this evidence that nobody wanted to be with me. I remember 2 summers later, after our situationship had finally ended, because of him, not because of me, I never left. He texted me out of the blue and wished me happy birthday. It had been 2 years at this point. I'd done a lot of learning about myself and how to be more confident and done a lot of growing up. And even though I still wasn't perfectly happy with myself or confident in myself, I had enough clarity from that situation to see how unhappy it made me. And needless to say, I did not text him back. I think that was probably really shocking to him because I always made myself overly available, even if he treated me like crap. But at that point, I was happy on my own. I was happy with myself. And only then I had the clarity to see that that situation never met my needs, that that Valentine's Day never would have been what I wanted it to be with that person or with who I was at the time. Now, this is not to say that the perfect Valentine's Day comes from the perfect date or the perfect partner. Being in a relationship on Valentine's Day also comes with so much pressure. You feel pressure to be sexy for your partner, to have amazing sex that night, even if you're both tired from a long work day because Valentine's Day is on a Wednesday. And you have unrealistic expectations for how the day should look. Those fancy candlelit dinners, that big expensive box of chocolate, a bouquet of a dozen red roses. Even if you don't actually want those things, you kind of want them just to say that you got them. Because we feel like this means that we were loved by someone, that we were good enough in their eyes to be given those gifts. That pressure comes from so many places, and understanding where it comes from is essential to you having a better Valentine's Day, whether you're single or with a partner. The first source of that pressure that we cannot deny is Disney movies and rom-coms. You have been watching princess movies and romantic comedies, or just romantic movies in general, since you were a little kid. So you've been seeing this idea of what romance and good love should look like. And even if you know it's kind of crap now, that it's all a fairy tale, that subconscious messaging that you received when you were younger sticks with us. And we see it reaffirmed all the time. Romantic comedies that are made today are the same story every time. And if you ever feel like your lovability, your worth is impacted by what you look like, what your body looks like, you need to think about what the people in those movies, in those princess movies, look like. Think of all your favorite Disney princess movies when you were growing up and romantic comedies when you were a teenager or a young adult. What does the female protagonist look like? It's always the thin girl that falls in love at the end of the movie, right? Maybe she has a best friend that's in a bigger body or is dorkier or lesser in some way when it comes to her appearance, but that person is never the focus of the movie. They're just the sidekick cheering her on. Unfortunately, we have this subconscious association from this media that good love and a smaller body are connected because that's all you ever saw. You never saw anything different. I've really felt this as someone that's single for the first time in 4 years. And I realized that I have this subconscious belief that people aren't going to want to go on dates with me if I'm not thin enough. When in reality, people are into all different body types, and there are so many people out there that just don't even care. And even after eating disorder recovery, when I've gained weight, when I'm no longer a skinny person with a flat stomach, I have had the best dates and the best sex of my life, and it had nothing to do with what I looked like. But there was a lot of unlearning in my beliefs that I had to do. The pressure we put on ourselves for our Valentine's Day to look a certain way also comes from the commercialization of the holiday. If you've been in a grocery store at all in February, you know what I'm talking about. It's the pink and red cards, the bundles of fake flowers and real flowers that are so freaking expensive, the big boxes of chocolates, the festive candies, the pink and red lingerie that you can buy on sale this month only to impress your partner, those little candy hearts, the balloons. There's so much that's marketed to us for Valentine's Day, all with this emphasis of making this one random day on the calendar perfect, making it so full of love if you have these things. It's like they're screaming at you when you walk through the grocery store, this is what you need to have a successful Valentine's Day. These are the markers of this day being right, being good enough. But this pressure you put on yourself to look a certain way, to be lovable, or to find a partner that loves you like in the movies and have that romantic candlelit dinner that goes exactly how you'd hoped, to have this random day in February where it's cold outside, those pressures don't come from inside of you, and they're not representative of your actual worth or lovability as a person. It does not mean that you are not good enough to have these things if you want them. My favorite Valentine's Day with a partner was like any other day, with a little bit more emphasis on our quality time together. We made spaghetti at home, and then we curled up on the couch and we watched a movie together, snuggled in each other's warmth. We took the pressure off ourselves to go out to a fancy dinner, to buy each other gifts, not because we didn't love each other, but because we show each other love on the daily. And the only reason we felt like we needed to do anything different on this February 14th was because of everything we'd seen on the outside of what love is supposed to look like. But taking the pressure off of ourselves and off of each other made us both relax more, just feel happier, and really focus on the person in front of us and how happy we were in that relationship. It made us stop measuring the quality of our relationship on all these external factors versus what we really had together. Now, the secret to having your best Valentine's Day yet, regardless of your relationship status, is this: treat it like a Sunday. Let me explain what that means. These are this calm, easy day where you don't put pressure on yourself to be doing the most or working or getting things done. You do simple activities with the sole purpose of making you happy, of resting and replenishing and getting ready for the week ahead. I love Sundays for this reason. Saturdays are my errand days. But the energy of a Sunday feels centered around you, around the people close to you, without it having to be this whole production. This year for me, I'm so excited for Valentine's Day because I know that on that day, I'm going to take time to read the book that I'm super into right now, to go on a nice long walk, to eat some really good food, to journal, to get a massage, whatever feels right and good for me. It is simple, but it allows me to take time to care for myself, and I'm not evaluating the day based on who I spend it with or if they buy me roses. I'll show myself the love and the patience and the care that I deserve. Valentine's Day is not a day to assess whether or not I deserve it. It's just an opportunity to show that to myself more than usual. If you're with a partner, what do you love to do together? What meals do you love to cook together at home? What movies do you love to watch? What are you most excited for when they get home from a long work day? Maybe you just want to eat spaghetti and snuggle on the couch and watch a movie like me and my partner did. The thing with Valentine's Day is it doesn't actually matter that much what you do on the day. It depends on the intention behind your actions. This is what allows you to be happy on your own or in the presence of someone else, even if it isn't this big fancy production. It's saying to yourself, I'm going to go out and get the love and get the feeling that I deserve, not expecting someone else or something else to give it to you. You deserve that, regardless of if anybody else is the one handing it to you. If you can do this, I can guarantee you can have a day so full of love, both for yourself and the people around you, without it needing to be this huge thing. And you won't end the night feeling like you weren't enough or you didn't do enough. And you won't have to swipe your card so many times. This approach to the love in your life is not reserved just for Valentine's Day. If you want to feel confident every single day, you can use this approach to how you care for yourself and how you hold yourself and your standards. This is how I consistently show up for myself and show myself genuine care. This is how I'm consistent in my healthy habits, consistent in the standards I hold in partners, and what has led me to the best self and relationship love of my life. It's how I've gotten comfortable being single and spending time alone, but also how I've immensely raised the quality of the partners that I attract. I'm clear on what I want and what I need. And if one of your goals for this year is to have more love and happiness and joy and adventure in your life, then this is an intention that you want to have every single day, not just February 14th. One of the biggest parts of Valentine's Day that I hear my clients struggling with is also how we compare ourselves and our situations to other people. Whether you compare your singleness to your friend in a relationship or you compare your relationship to that cute couple on Instagram, those thoughts seriously trip you up. Comparison to other people, regardless of your relationship status, stops you from having your happiest, healthiest life because you're taking all of that mental energy to think about somebody else or what they would think of you instead of doing the things that are going to make you look and feel the best. Learning how to stop comparing yourself to other people is a super important skill, but it has its own video for that. If you want to be more confident and more consistent with your habits every day of the year, you need to get out of the comparison mindset and stop worrying what other people are thinking or what they're doing. I already created a mini training on that, of course, so you need to watch it ASAP if you want to have the best day and the best year ever, and I'll make sure that you can watch that video next. And as always, self-love, body confidence, fitness, nutrition, self-care are things that I professionally help people with every single day. If you're motivated to find your best body confidence and have the most confidence in how you care for that body this year, my email is in the description of this video, or you can send me a message on Instagram, which is linked on my page. I want to hear from you what you're trying to stop, what you're trying to start, and why you're motivated to make a change in your life now. And we can talk about how to make that happen together. Talk to you soon!